So you want to build a powerful backend, right? Something that can talk to literally any app out there. Well, today, that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to build a full-blown REST API using Django and the Django REST Framework, and we're going to do it in just a few minutes. Sound good? Let's dive in. I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about how apps, well, how they talk to each other? How does your weather app get the latest forecast? Or how does that food delivery app pull up the entire menu for a restaurant? It's not magic, right? There's something happening behind the scenes, some kind of communication. Well, they use something that looks just like this. This clean, superstructured format is called JSON. You can kind of think of it as the universal language of the internet. And our goal today? It's to build the exact system that speaks this language. A system that can turn our data into something that any app, anywhere, can understand. Okay, so before we get our hands dirty and start building, let's just take a second to talk about what we're actually making here. What even is an API? Honestly, the best way to wrap your head around an API is to think of a waiter at a restaurant. You're the customer, or, the app, and you don't just barge into the kitchen to grab your food, right? No way. You give your order to the waiter. That waiter, that's your API. The waiter takes your request to the kitchen, which is the server, and then brings back exactly what you asked for, the data. It's that crucial middleman, that messenger, that lets two totally different applications have a conversation. All right, theory's over. Now it's time to actually build this thing. First up, we've got to get our digital workbench all set up. But don't worry, this part is super fast. Okay, this might look a little technical, but I promise it's just a few standard commands. We're just making a folder, setting up what's called a virtual environment, which is just a clean little sandbox for our project. We turn it on, and then we install our two most important tools, Django and the Django REST Framework. And then we create the project. That's it. Seriously, our workspace is ready to go. All right, now for the fun part, the real heart of this thing, building the API's core. And it all really just boils down to 4 key ingredients that all work together perfectly. So what are they? We've got the model, which is like our data blueprint. Then there's the serializer, our universal translator. After that is the view, which handles all the logic. And finally, the URL, which is just the address. Each one has a super specific job. And once you get these 4, you get how the whole system just clicks. So let's use some analogies to make this crystal clear. The model? That's the blueprint for your house. It defines the entire structure of your data. The serializer? That's your translator, taking your data and converting it into that universal JSON format we talked about. The view is kind of like a traffic cop. It stands in the middle, handles all the logic, and directs all the data flow. And the URL? Well, that's just the street address for the house, telling everyone where to find it. So first things first, everything starts with that blueprint, the model. We'll pop open a file called models.py, and inside, we literally just define what our data looks like. For this explainer, let's create something simple, like a student that has a name, an age, and a course. This simple structure is the foundation for everything else we're about to do. Okay, we've got the blueprint. Now we need to actually tell the database to, build the house. That's where these 2 little commands come in, make migrations and migrate. All they do is take that Python code we just wrote and turn it into a real database table, all ready to start holding our student data. So our database now totally understands what a student is. But here's the thing, the rest of the world has no idea. We need that translator. And that is exactly what the serializer does. It takes our internal Python data and converts it into that clean, beautiful JSON, making it perfectly understandable for any web or mobile app that wants to talk to us. Next up, we built the brains of the whole operation, the view. And honestly, this is where the magic really happens. We're going to use something called a view set that comes with the REST framework, and it gives us so much functionality for free. I'm talking about all the logic for listing students, creating new ones, updating them, deleting them. All of it is handled automatically by this one powerful tool. And believe it or not, that's basically it. All the main pieces are now built. The very last step is to just wire them all together and give our API a public address so the world can actually find it. This is the final piece of the puzzle. We go into a file called urls.py, and we basically just introduce our view set to Django's router. It's pretty much one line of code that magically creates all the URLs we need for our API. We're just telling our app, hey, anytime someone visits /API/students, I want you to send them over to that student view we just built. Simple as that. And that's it. I'm serious. We are done.
Now comes the best part, the most satisfying part of all, seeing this thing actually come to life.
So all we do is run one last command to start up the server, and then we just pop open a web browser and go to the exact address, the endpoint that we just created. And boom, there it is. Look at that. This is not just some boring web page. This is a live, fully interactive dashboard for your data. You can do everything right from your browser. You can get all the students, you can post a new one, you can even update and delete existing ones. It's a complete control panel for your data, and we just built it in a matter of minutes. And just take a look at that. You're seeing the raw JSON data from your API. Does it look familiar? It should. It's that same clean, structured format we looked at in the very beginning. You just went from a simple idea to a fully functional live API. You did it. Okay, so you've built this awesome tool, but what now? What's the point? Let's talk about what this actually unlocks for you, in the real world. The real beauty here is just how versatile this is. Your Django backend can now talk to anything. You could write a little Python script to interact with it. You could build a gorgeous front end with something like React or Vue. You could even build a mobile app. All of them can now use this one API to get and manage all your data. At the end of the day, what you've really done here is you've built a bridge, a powerful communication channel that connects your project to the rest of the entire digital world. The bridge is finished. The only question left is, what amazing data are you going to send across it?